Well, guys, it's Tuesday again, and we didn't screw anything up this week, but a mistake was made. So here's your Tuesday morning tech tip with Pugliese Speed Shop. All right, yo, hey, you got to excuse the mess around here. It's still a work in progress. We're in the middle of what one might call the world's longest ever shop cleanup. Gonna be worth it when we're done. But I had to take a break from that because you can only do so much cleaning before you know. And then I said, let me look into a couple things. So you remember the '64 Bel Air we bought, right? If not, go back and watch the episode, or tune in on Friday, or do both because you're gonna dig it. Part of that deal was this cherry core support where the grill is just mint, right? So that was pretty dope. But then he even sweetened the deal a little bit and said, I got a windshield for you, right? Because the windshield is, yeah, it's shattered. I've never looked for a windshield for a '64 Bel Air. No idea what they cost. Well, now I have a little bit of an idea. But either way, free stuff that goes with this car, I'll take it. So, guy we got it from had a friend. He was kind of in the parts business. He had some really solid vehicles. He also had a lot of parts cars. It's part of the hobby. So he had a friend that had a windshield for it, and he said, I'll come and get it. He even met me down here like an hour or 2 hours from his house because he was going to be in the neighborhood. Just solid dude. So we got a windshield over here. I'm going to flip you guys around. I'll show you the windshield. And I just want to catch you up first. So I figured what better place to store a windshield for a '64 Bel Air than on the hood of a '65 C10. It made sense at the time. But we had this blanket for safekeeping, so no worries. You see its glass is in nice shape. It's got that little greenish kind of hue to it that the old windshields have. And I dig it. It's flawless, right? It's got some gasket material, clean it up a little bit, whatever. But yeah, beautiful windshield, right? Well, maybe not. All right, guys, here's how the story goes. All right. I go to pick it up, and we meet. Next to the guy drove way out of his way. Awesome dude. He's got in the back of his super clean, like '86 C10 with like LT swapped. It was dropped. Just cool truck, right? He's like, hey, I'm not 100% sure it's the right glass. And I didn't notice it. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, it seems kind of narrow, like a little too short. I said, well, it kind of looks like the right one to me. It's got the right curve. It says, man, it's not in the vehicle, right? Obviously, I don't have the vehicle right there to kind of compare. And I was like, maybe, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, the guy's carrying on, convincing me it's the right one. He's like, but man, I'm not so sure. He's like, but then we talked about it, and because we both wanted to be the right one, we convinced ourselves it was the right one. But we were both not 100% sure. So then we just started talking about the car. Of course, there was a '63 Impala at the gas station we met at that we both saw on Marketplace, and we're talking about that, and just like hot rodders do, right? We start talking about the things that we love. So in that conversation, he mentions, he's like, these windshields are kind of easy to come by. He's like, other people stock them. There's companies that do it because obviously you need windshields break. That's just right. So he says, man, but the back glass, those are hard to come by, man. He's like, they're going for like $600-700 on like eBay or whatever. I was like, man, crazy, $600-700 for back glass. That's nuts. But maybe they don't repop it. I don't know the whole ins and outs of the whole thing. So, we talked for a while. I get in the truck, shoot home. Super careful not to break this thing. I didn't even put it in the bed. I had to throw a blanket in the back seat of the truck, put it in there, and just super taking good care of it. Obviously, it made it here. We did something right. So I'm looking at him, looking at the car. I'm looking at him, looking at the car, and I'm like, I think he's right, man. I don't think that's the right one. So I measure it. It's like 21 and 3/4. I'm ballparking. I measure the windshield. It's like 28, 29, something like that. Yeah, it's not the right one. But the curve does look right, and the width looks right. I was like, man, this is crazy. And it's like, I wonder what it could go to. So now I'll hit the dude up. I'll tell him, and he can take it back or whatever. Because I mean, I don't need it. I can't use it. Maybe somebody can. So then I hear, I waited a couple days. I'm looking at the hood of my truck like, I don't know, man. And obviously we got a ton of stuff going on right here. Kind of got to put it on the back burner. So then I look at the back and I'm like, I think that's the back glass. Sure enough, I measure it. It's the back glass. So to my untrained eye, it's like a beautiful windshield. When in reality, it's a beautiful back glass, which, funny, is probably worth about 3 times what the windshield is. I looked the windshield up. There's a couple companies that make them. It looks like between 180 and 220 bucks. I'm not sure about shipping, so we need to get it, and we will. But it seems like that's not going to be a big problem. But now I got this back glass that I don't need. So I got a moral dilemma, right? Do I list this thing and make a couple $100 off of it? Or do I hit him up and tell him, hey, I just measured this and it ain't the right one. Do you need it? Somebody you know need it? Whatever. Because the dude was super cool with us, right? You know the answer. So hopefully he's watching this. If not, either way, I'm going to hit him up and tell him, yo, this isn't the right glass. The back glass is good on this car, so we don't need it. Does he need it because he's got some cars, he's got guys or whatever? Maybe we can horse trade it for the right glass. I'm not out to make money off of it, but it did come to mind. I mean, who wouldn't, right? It's just funny that we were talking about that, and then, that ends up being what it is. And maybe, because we're both looking at it, maybe he thought it, maybe I don't know. I don't really know what led to the conversation, how it went down that road. But that's the end of the day is we got a piece of glass we can't use, and maybe somebody can. So, like I said, I'm going to hit him up. We'll see where we go from here. But it's just the right thing to do, guys, because we got to stick together with this hot rodding hobby. There's a lot of guys out there. You've seen them on TV, magazines, whatever, car shows, wherever you might see them with and it's not even the guys. People make this mistake. Oh, these show cars, right? They spend all this money and all they're out there is to make money off of it. You ain't making no money on a show car, especially if you're the guy funding the build. You're not making no money on a show car. So that's not the case. It's a personality thing. Some guys are like, I just want to make money, and some guys are like, I just want to preserve a piece of history. And that's where I fall in. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see if somebody can use it. And if nobody can use it, we'll go ahead and list it for sale. But I guess the tech tip is know what you're getting before you get it. Maybe throw some measurements down. Neither one of us expected to be the wrong one. But at the end of the day, don't be a dick and try to just make money off of stuff. Be a good guy, because that karma thing, it's for real. Thanks for watching, guys.